Hey guys, what's up? Lone Berserker here, and this is a commentary 3 versus 3 Pontus versus Macedon. We are using the larger battlefield mod just to make the map bigger, so that's why everything looks bigger. So this is just a fun little thing my friends and I came up with, where we did one team as Pontus and the other as Macedon. Now, one thing you're going to notice immediately is Team Pontus has a much larger army altogether. And, well, I'll just wait till the end to show you why we have a much larger army. I'm about to run into some Tarantines here, by the way, so some skirmishing is going to start. So my army is 3 Scythians, 3 Pontic swords, 3 slingers, 2 archers, 4 naked swords, 3 Cappadocians, and 2 royals. This Pontus has 2 Pontic Royal Cav, 2 Cappadocians, I think. Okay, hold up here. I think he has 5 Peltist. 1, 2, 3, 4. Or maybe he only has 4. He's got 4 or 5 Peltist. He's got 4 Celtic Warriors, 3 Bronze Shield Pikemen, a Naked Sword. I think that's it. And then he's got 3 slingers. We might have to pause this because it starts off fast. So this Pontus has 3 archers, 5 Pontic swords, 4 Cappadocians, a Pontic Royal Cav. That's his Peltist. You see, he does have 5 Peltist. I think 2 Peltist, 3 Thorea Spears, and 2 Scythians. So Team Macedon, one army has 2 Tarantines over there. I think 2 Thessalians, a companion, I think maybe 2 Thracians, yes, 3 thorax swords, 2 Thorea spears, 4 pikemen, 4 slingers. Now this is a combined army, but this combined army, let's just, here I'll pause it and try to explain it. Over here he has 2 foot companions, a slinger, a companion, 2 more foot companions, 2 Aspis companion cav, 3 companions. Then there's 2 Tarantines over there. Then there's a line of Thessalians, companions, thorax swords, Thracians, and looks like militia hoplite is backed up by slingers. So it's a combined army, and one of the players brought only elite units, so he only has like 10 units, but they're really elite. Over here, I decided to charge these Tarantines. Yeah, I know. With my Scythians, and I'm gonna pin them down and reinforce with a Cappadocian. I thought it was a good move. It didn't work out. I ended up taking more casualties, but I will inflict quite a bit on this Tarantine here because of the withdrawal, and I am faster than him, so I'll be able to do quite a bit of damage there. But I did take a lot of casualties, honestly. Probably not worth it. Now this fight starts off really fast over on this flank. Our ally in the center has a really bad problem with adjusting, so he's gonna get rushed here really fast. I don't think he was expecting this. I wasn't expecting this. Our teammate wasn't expecting this. So he's gonna try to counter these companion cav, but there really isn't a whole lot you can do as Pontus when you're getting nailed this hard, as any faction in reality. He's got this flank which actually comes into play very much later in the game. Loses a Peltist and an archer. He's gonna lose his Cappadocian. He's gonna lose that Celtic. So now, really, what should have happened is I should have moved forward, and this Pontic player should have swung back and started, well, basically swung into that fight like that and just reinforced as much as he could have. But he stayed in position. I am going to try and cut this flank off from the rest of the army. And you can see I'm splitting my army up to make it more mobile, so I'm going to push this side this way and these guys over here. Chasing off the Tarantines now. I think I lost 2 horse archers. Yeah, I did. That probably wasn't a good move in the end there, but I did it anyway. And you can see Pontus is going to struggle badly here. Anyone would, honestly, under this much pressure. At least they're beating up this Thracian warrior unit quite well, actually. He's going to use his general to hit the Thessalian. Here come the foot companions, though, so that's just going to put the pressure on even more. Thracians are going to beat the Pontic swords, and this one Cappadocian cav is out of position greatly. But you can see he's got tons of units behind the Macedonians, and like I said, these are going to come into play later. There's just too many units at this point for him to deal with. But really, they're just going to cycle charge against him and inflict a ton of casualties. And these Aspis companion cav are going to get tons of kills. This foot companion, though, is kind of getting wrecked by this bronze shield, which I'm kind of surprised about. Our ally in the center, though, did manage to inflict a ton of casualties, and you can see the fighting is starting over here. I'm losing a slinger. I wasn't paying attention, but I don't know if that was entirely worth it. I lose a slinger, but he loses a Thrato spear. I guess it was a pretty even trade, actually, but the slinger doesn't actually route, so it wasn't worth it for him. You can see I got his Thessalians in combat here, where he charged me. These thorax swords will eventually die here. He's going to lose quite a bit of units on this flank, and that's going to put a lot of pressure on his center, because his center is only pikemen. He does have Thracian warriors, but the majority of it is pikemen. So you can see our teammate is really just trying to survive at this point. He almost loses the Scythians there, which would have sucked, but they're going to get some good shots on those units. Here comes the Pontic General, another Pontic General charging into this fight, trying to help it. This combination here will actually do pretty good, because Shock Cav and Aspis Companion Cav ridiculously isn't actually good in melee against other horses. It's really good against infantry and should be used primarily against infantry, but it's not in a bad position entirely here, and they are getting shot, so that's helping them. Royal Cav going to charge into this Thessalian and probably finish it off, I would assume, but it might not. And you can see, as fast as I can, I am going to push this side here. I am clearing up these thorax swords. He's getting good charges on me, though, and I am probably rushing this too quickly. That's fine. I needed to get to my allies. Again, we really should have just lined up differently once our teammate started getting rushed, but it was very hard to coordinate. This Cappadocian is actually going to do a ton of damage to those Terracines there. These Peltists are completely out of position and are not helping at all. They just keep getting charged everywhere. So I'm going to finish up these thorax swords and these Thessalians over here, and then I'm going to push for the rear of Macedon and send whatever units I can over to my allies at this point. Basically, I was just trying to go as fast as I possibly could. And you can see there is a ton of Macedonians left on this field. So this was really close, and we were very worried about what was currently happening. Here comes a Celtic warrior. If it gets a javelin, that's nice, but it doesn't really get a javelin, so that Pontic Peltus is going to lose a lot of guys there. Probably won't rout, but it's going to take a lot of damage. Though the companion kind of gets caught. This Bronze Shield Pikeman actually caught the Companion Cav General for Team Macedon. That Celtic Warrior will rip that Foot Companion apart if he can get a charge on it. Which he did, so that Foot Companion is going to take a lot of damage. If we didn't get rushed, our Peltus would have probably done a lot more damage, but that's the exact thing that our opponents countered very well. Over here, I'm actually going to get a good fight against his General in Thracian, and I am going to kill a lot of units here. So I'm going to leave this unit in melee, despite the fact that it's getting wrecked right now. I accidentally got my Scythian caught in melee. Frankly, I don't know what he was doing, but that's not what I wanted him to do. So my Cappadocian and Royal Cav are going to pin him down, and then I'm going to come in with my General. I missed like 5 times trying to give him an attack order. I'm going to get shot here, but that's fine. So you can see I'll get a good charge on there. Thracians are going to take a ton of damage. Here comes a Cappadocian with Battle Rhythm, which I just kind of gave to it because I had it. He's going to try and pull his General up, but he's going to take a lot of casualties here, and I think he's going to lose him in a second. So you can see, over here though, these units are friendly firing each other quite badly. But they have an opportunity to kill a bunch of skirmishers here, and I think he's actually going to miss it. There's 10 Thessalians getting shot over there and chasing those Scythians away. So yeah, Macedon over here loses his General. I almost lose mine, but thankfully I don't. I'm going to do a ton of damage to that Slinger. I'm going to push this Pikeman back. You're going to sneak in this Militia Hublate, but I'm going to chase him with a bunch of naked men, and he's going to take a ton of damage there. There is this Macedonian General over here, which I'm going to come and try to support my ally. And there's more Companion Cav. There was just so much Shock Cav. As Pontus, you don't really have that option, but Macedonians have, what is it called? Thessalians. In the initial engagement, they win. Late game, they win. But Cappadocians will win in a stand-up melee. But yeah, against Thessalians, it's really hard to keep up with all the Shock Cav, because they can just do so much damage. And again, in the late game, Thessalians definitely are the better unit. I'm going to get a good archer volley here on these Companion Cav, and this is why I like having Eastern archers. They die very quickly. Also, I accidentally ran my Eastern Slinger into melee there against his General. Macedon's going to take a lot of casualties. He's also going to like run through half my skirmishers here. But he's going to pay for it dearly and take a ton of casualties, and I think he loses his General also. And someone's General died. I think it might have been that Macedonian actually. I don't see anyone. Yeah, General dead. Or that might have been, I don't know. Someone's general just died. And these Rhodian slingers are getting chased away. See, now our horse skirmishers, though, our Scythians are going to come into play a lot here and do a ton of damage. Sadly, I really shouldn't have charged that, because now I'm regretting it, charging those Tyrantine Cav. I do that stuff all the flipping time, though, and I'm never going to stop. It's worth it. It's always worth it. So here comes my horde of infantry here, going after these slingers. I'm going to run, though, and I'm not going to be able to catch them. I really shouldn't have been chasing them. I think I should stop. I shouldn't be chasing them. Now, I should mention that at this point, I think it's at this point, that one of the players dropped. He was having very bad Wi-Fi issues. Excuse me. It was this player right here. So, the one I was chasing basically all game dropped. So, basically, you're going to see his units probably do a lot of wacky crap. Now, at this point, they don't have a whole lot left except for some slingers and pikemen. Now, I still had a lot of ammunition in my slingers and archers. So I'm just going to start shooting stuff here and guarding them with my cavalry and crappy infantry, or what's left of my infantry. I think I tried to attack his skirmishers because my horse archers were out of ammo, so I was going to get a charge on him, but I'm not going to be able to do that. The AI actually did a really good job at protecting its skirmishers. But it's kind of hard for them at this point to do anything, because they have literally no cav, I don't think. They might have one over there. No, I think it just died, actually. So yeah, they're out of cav completely. I still have 3 units. 4 units, technically. They're damaged, but still. There's 2 Scythians there. There's another Cappadocian over there. So we still had tons of cav units, which gives us a huge advantage. Especially in the late game when all the units are wounded. And cavalry is basically supreme. So I'm going to try my best in taking down these slingers, which I will get them right here. And I'm getting tons of good shots into these foot companions. So our opponents definitely caught us off guard there, and it was quite the cheeky play, but it ended up working out quite well, and they almost had us. But I think we just had probably too many units for them to deal with, because they were down by 10 units. My allies and I all had 20 units each, and as I was saying before, one of theirs only had 10. They were elite, really elite, but numbers really helped us here. But we definitely fumbled our defense on that, though. I'll say that. We should have reacted differently. I should have been faster, and the teammate in the middle should have switched faster. So yeah, it's basically just us struggling to kill their pikemen, because we really didn't want to just headlong charge into them, because it still was up in the air, really. That Pontus probably should have stayed engaged in that unit. But eventually we will overcome their pikemen here. So yeah, I can see this is basically the majority of the AI's units. They're just kind of running around. If they had pike box, they might have had a chance. I don't know, though. We still had significant... Well, not anymore, but at the point where the player drops out, we still had quite a bit of ammo. Or I did, at least. My allies were kind of out. I like bringing tons of skirmishers for that exact reason. And you can see we just start double teaming the pikemen here, and they're not able to stop us. So yeah, that's all. That was an awesome game, though. That was really fun to play. Really confusing, because I felt like we honestly just ran in a massive circle and ended up circling around. But still, it was fun. So I don't really know. So I'll just do it. This. So my allies' cavalry did pretty well. 3 of them. This one not so much. His skirmishers, yeah, you can see, not getting any kills. This really sucked. I mean, his slingers got some good kills, but his peltists were completely screwed over at the start of that game. A lot of his infantry just got ran over too, and I guess the pikemen, though, ended up getting 2 of them at least. Got some pretty good kills there. Macedon's cav, I think I ended up dealing with them pretty well, even though I did take some casualties from them. I think I took them out well, and those Tarantines, though, they did obliterate my horse archers. Slingers didn't do that great. Thracians, though, getting tons of kills. A lot of these were on my cav, so those were done pretty well. Pikemen just caught out of position there that entire time, and same with the rest of his infantry. This player was the one who dropped and was basically left behind by his teammates. So Pontus here, this player, got absolutely wrecked in the initial stage of that game. Though his Scythians ended up getting tons of flipping kills. General, yeah, his cav just got kind of wrecked there. Same with everything else, basically. Though this Peltus ended up getting tons of kills, and this Threos did well, but that's basically it. And then this Macedonian player got tons of kills with his cav. Well, his general, some of the Thessalians did good. Tarentines did well. Rhodians not so much. Same with those regular slingers did okay. And Thracians getting good kills, and this one Thorax sword getting 240 kills. My God, hey, the Militia Hoplite though carried that team, 48 kills. So my army, my cav, my melee cav and shot cav ended up doing really nice. My Scythians were misused entirely. I definitely, in the hindsight, I shouldn't have charged those Tarentines, but I still think it was worth it. Skirmishers getting good kills all around. Naked swords did well there, and my Pontic swords doing lackluster, but they are Pontic swords and they're basically always going to do lackluster. And you can see the prime Macedonian army here, prime in its frickin' early age. 4 companion cav and aspis, 1 slinger and 4 foot companions. And the hilarious part is every unit in his army did really good, including the slingers, and the aspis companion cav got over 200 kills. Was that the only aspis? Yeah, it was. So dealing with shot cav as Pontus really sucks, because Macedon's shot cav is more cost effective and it's just better, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, so their companions are 1300, Pontus's royal cav is 1200. So they both have 46 attack, 60 armor, 100 health, 70 base morale, 70 armor, 100 health, 70 morale, 76 charge, 17 melee defense. Well, actually, 21 melee defense. They don't have a whole lot of differences. Yeah, they don't. But the problem is as Pontus, you don't want to bring 4 Pontic Royal Cav. You definitely want to bring the Cappadocians because they're more cost effective, and just bringing 4 Pontic Royal Cav is overpriced. So Macedon has a huge advantage because their Thessalians are 740, which is an incredible price for their unit. Honestly, even their Sarissa Cav is good. But 740 for Thessalian Cav is really nice, actually. It's a really cost-effective unit. So when you have to deal with a ton of shot cav like that, and your only option really is to bring melee cav, it sucks. It's kind of hard. And during the late game, I guess early game it's not as bad, but late game when all your units are weakened, especially your cav, it's a struggle. That's where Macedon definitely outdoes Pontus, is the cav area, because I think shot cav, I like melee cav more, but I think shot cav in the end does have the greater advantages. And is probably more cost effective all around. And it's really good for initial charges on enemy units. So yeah, that is all for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.